Jamal Lascelles, Carl Darlow, and you're watching Newcastle Fans TV.
Hello everybody and welcome to Newcastle review. Fulham 1, Newcastle United 0. I brought my pal along, my little carbon copy of me which is beside me there. I got this drawn in New York. Looks like more like Jezza from the F2 I think rather than myself, but it was canny. But we got beat 1-0. Let's crack on with the lineups first of all then. So we're seeing Matt Sells make his debut. Yama at right back. Lascelles alongside Hanley, which is a bit of a surprise. I thought Mbemba would start, but Rafa went for Hanley. Maybe that's because of Mbemba's injury last week. Paul Dummett at left back, and then when you went with Colback and Hayden as two central sitting midfielders, with Anita out wide on the right, which we'll come on to later on. Richie on the left, Perez just off Dwight Gale. So looking at the lineup, I'm pretty much almost spot on. I did feel that Rolando Aarons would start on the bench, but the Hanley one was mostly my surprise looking at that lineup. So we've got a few things that, yes, we know we got beat. We've got a few things to talk about. So let's talk about the penalties or non-penalties of what went on during the game, and then we'll talk about the goal. So the first one, which I think was a red card, which is Odoi, who brings down Perez quite early on in the game outside of the box, and the referee gives a free kick. Now, the new laws state that if it's inside the box, you don't have the triple punishment where it's a red card, penalty and a goal potentially. Now, if it's outside the box, you can send them off, and he didn't send the referee off. I didn't send the player off. Odoi didn't send him off. That's an error. It's a last man chance. He has to send him off. If he's last man outside the box, look at Ireland. Irish fans certainly know this with the French in the Euros. Last man outside the box, he's got to go. Why doesn't the referee send him off, you know? Right, next one, which is Fulham's chance now, which Hanley goes in clumsy, you would have to say. You win the ball awkwardly, but it's not a penalty for Fulham, I don't feel. He wins the ball, it's awkward, we know, but clumsy, but he wins it, it's not a penalty. The next one though, how the referee doesn't give this when Tunnicliffe has his hand out like that and just clips him when his hand in the air like that. How the referee doesn't give it. Everybody's screaming. I was in the bar in New York. Everybody's screaming their heads off. How was that not a penalty? And everybody's gotten off it. All the Yanks, all the Geordies that were in there as well. It was just a shocking, awful refereeing decision. He's got a few wrong. Later on, you'd probably say when Callis blocked the shot with his hands were close to his body. So I wouldn't give that as a penalty later on where Shelvey was screaming for it. If that was against us, I would probably have to say that's not a penalty. But the refereeing decisions, I mean, I hope he gets demoted. Absolutely awful. But we didn't lose the game because of the referee. The referee didn't help matters, don't get me wrong. Their goal, Matt Smith, I mean, zonal marking, it's just awful. I mean, I never get on Rafa's case. I'm not going to get on Rafa's case. But Jamal Lascelles, I mean, is he man marking him? Is he zonal marking him? But Lascelles is all over the place with Matt Smith said that. Beautiful goal from Fulham's point of view, directed in the corner. Sells got nothing, can't save that. But Jamal Lascelles, I know he's club captain, but he's got an error in him. I've seen that plenty of times last season. I didn't rate him until Rafa come in, so he has got an error in him, which he's probably have to go and learn. And it's probably best that he learns this season rather than the Premier League, because he's captain. He's got to be first choice centre back. So you could look at that as zonal marking, could look at Jamal Lascelles. Let's move on. Okay then, so Anita on the right didn't do anything, did he? Nothing. All right, I think that was a bit of a mistake by Benitez. Didn't offer anything going forward. I can see why he's went for Anita on the right to try and protect Fulham, but Fulham didn't really offer a great deal going forward, did they? Except from the goal and a couple of half chances. I can't remember Lascelles being tested mostly, and to be fair, us going forward, which we'll come on in a moment as well. Benitez switched Anita to the left and brought Richie to the right. Richie was a lot more dangerous on the right, and then Rolando Aarons come on later on, which we were happy about, don't get me wrong, just before the hour mark, but didn't do anything. He fluffed one as well with his right foot inside the box, and obviously he brought on Shelvey later on as well, so he was trying to move it forward and bringing off defensive minded players like Colback. You know, Jose Perez had a stinker. I don't know why he was coming so deep into attacking midfield with his back towards goal. The Fulham defence were on him like that constantly, and he couldn't breathe. I don't like Jose Perez being that. I think the game massively lost, was crying out for Mitrovic type of player, wasn't it? I mean, we're now suspended and we're talking about hindsight, which is an easy thing to do, but that game was crying out for Mitrovic for bullet headers, bullying, getting crosses into the box, you know. Dwight Gill didn't really have a sniff, and it's not really the striker's fault. Perez, yes, had a bad game, but apart from Matt Ritchie, you would have to say all of the midfielders were pretty poor. The drive, we had nobody driving from midfield, which, funny enough, would have been Sissoko's job if he was playing today, or maybe Ronaldo, but maybe that's why we're saying Mo Diarmi. Question for you at home. If Mo Diarmi was playing, he would have been that break in midfield. That could have he made the difference. Let us know in your comments down there below. We'll move on. I think this season, yeah, I'm quite depressive on our first game of the season. It is late at night. It's like 4 o'clock UK time, but about 11 here. We're having an early night in the hotel. But I think we're going to lose probably 7 or 8 this season, and it's majority of them, probably 6, 7, are probably going to be on the road. So probably best that we'll get this out the way. I did say in the prediction video that Fulham would finish quite high up. I went with 10th position. We'll have to see how that pans out. But we're so far defeat. Now we'll move on to the Huddersfield game, which I put on a quick 30-second video out on Twitter when I was on the streets of just outside Wall Street, where basically got to move on, get behind the team for the first home game, which will be electric because of the Gallagher flags. Then all the stadium will be filled in flags and, I don't know, graffiti, and just it's going to be iconic scenery, you know. Let's make the noise. Let's knock that on the head. Let's move on to the next one. Let's try not to get downhearted about it. I've been Lee on behalf of Newcastle Fans TV, and I'll see you later.